make a name for myself and then accidentally end up a bunch of other people that are attending TwitchCon. That's the reason why I'm not going. How are people blaming you for your own stalking and threats? I mean, this is proof as to why, it doesn't make sense for me to go to TwitchCon. This is like the whole point. This is literally the reason. Like, what kind of statement is this? You're in the new Philly D thumbnail?
Next up, products for Prime Day special. But the next up in the news today, it actually starts with a question, and that is, with how crazy things feel in America right now, are you afraid to go to large events in public? And connected to that question, we've seen political creators here and there canceling things individually, as well as big creators like Hasan Piker, Valkyrie, Cutie Cinderella, and others announcing that they're going to be skipping TwitchCon later this month over safety concerns. And the latest person to drop out was Hasan, who during a stream announced that he wasn't going to go to the event, and he fleshed out his reasoning.
I missed the social Hasan era. There is unfortunately an obvious setback there because of, one, all the political incidents that have taken place, and two, how those political incidents have had some pretty significant consequences in how much I can go out in the real world and socialize with other people. As I said already, I'm not going to TwitchCon, not because I'm worried about my own safety, but I'm literally not going to TwitchCon because I'm worried about the safety of others. I don't want to put them in the fucking crosshairs if some psycho freak decides, like, I'm going to go there. I'm very publicly not going to TwitchCon for that reason.
Right, and that decision, it came after Valkyrie and Cutie Cinderella made it very clear over the last 2 weeks that they would also not be attending the event, with their initial thoughts popping up on their podcast Whine About It.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I've been so anxious and scared and sad this whole past week with everything that's been going on for multitude
Whine About
of
It
reasons
mentioned.
that I told Cutie, I was like, I'm kind of afraid to go to TwitchCon.
Yeah. We're in a bit of a conundrum with TwitchCon. We may... Listen, it's not... I have...
It's not you, it's us.
It's not you, it's us. I have told... Because we're supposed to do Whine About It live at TwitchCon. Love Twitch for supporting our show. I have given them a soft, hey, we're in a bit of a panic mode right now.
Will we ever stop panicking?
That's the problem. I don't know if
think
we're
we
being...
will.
Because I don't feel... The problem is right now, I don't... Respectfully, I don't feel irrational about it. I feel very...
I think it's valid.
Scared.
Yeah, it just takes one person.
Your stalkers are so upset about you not going, lol. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it online. A lot of people, it went viral on Twitter, and a lot of people basically demonstrated exactly why I was making this decision. Like, it was pretty crazy to see. The thing is, like, with TwitchCon, like, I'm still gonna do public events. Like, I'm obviously gonna be out and about in France and whatnot. And I've always been careful not to, like, reveal whatever public thing I'm doing ahead of time, for a multitude of different reasons. But as far as like a major event where I would be one of the publicly saying that I'm going, like TwitchCon, I think that it's just there's too many variables. There are too many variables at play, and it doesn't make sense to put other people in the crosshairs, so to speak. No one, I'm not trying to make a double entendre here, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to risk other people.
Yeah.
To,
Right, and then they go on to mention Ari Sato, who was a Japanese live streamer that was stabbed in the middle of a stream by someone local media called an anti-fan. So with things like that, as well as the Charlie Kirk and politicians, it's obviously been at the front of a lot of people's minds, which led to Valkyrie saying last week,
I'm just really uncomfortable with the world right now. Just so you guys know, Cutie and I are not going to TwitchCon anymore. We did back out. America is in a weird spot. Weird things are happening, and it's just, I don't feel safe. I open up, see the news, and then I'm like, holy moly, what is happening?
and in general, there was a sentiment that there's a big overlap of people who hate watch streamers and those who are extremely politically active on platforms like Twitter. And here's how Pokimane put it last week.
Here's the way I view it, especially with all the recent news surrounding Charlie Kirk. And of course, a lot of political talk happens on Twitter. And also for us, people like me, Ray, Cutie, other female streamers, the people who feel the most negative and most like passionately hateful.
Yeah, this is also the other side of it is like there's always a permanent environment of insecurity for female streamers in general because they have like a shit ton of stalkers. And given the way that this kind of activity is conducted online, there's not a lot of great current great efforts to create an environment of security. Like, there's not really much you can do about cyber stalking and like this kind of shit. So it makes perfect sense for a lot of these people to feel even less safe in this environment, you know?
Towards us also tend to be on Twitter, and the streaming and Twitter community just have a lot of overlap. So sometimes it's just scary. And when you see that kind of negativity, you're like, do I want to tell people where I'm going to be in person? I actually don't know. I don't really like using Twitter too much because I don't... when I look at the replies, I'm like, who are these people talking to? I sure as hell don't think it's me. Like, I'm like, you guys are not my community. How do you even know me? Or you post a selfie, people start losing their shit.
Right, and with that, you had people saying, you know, you can just look to the replies to the news that Valkyrie and QT weren't going to see the overlap. Or with people posting things like, makes sense, dating Hasan puts a huge target on your back because he supports terrorists and call for violence on others. Twitch should ban him. With that appearing to be in reference to claims that Valkyrie and Hasan are dating. Right, and while I don't care or know if that's true, I guess what matters is that the perception is that they are, and it puts her in danger. We also have others like streamer Tectone, who's recently become extremely vocal about culture and politics, seeming to use the opportunity to push the narrative that all the recent or left-leaning and figures like Hasan are to blame. In reaction to Hasan not going to TwitchCon, he wrote, "Hasan, you're the one who's causing these consequences the most out of any streamer on the planet."
Tectone talking like a schooler is so crazy because, like, he literally is like, now you're too afraid to show face after saying everyone was overreacting. What a lying bitch pussy made, in air quotes, man. And it's like, dude, why are you talking like if I go to TwitchCon, you're the one who's going to try me? Like, what the is this dork doing? He tweets about you all the time. I mean, he should, you know, I'm glad that there's something keeping him busy, you know? And he's not like harassing like a random trans content creator or a random woman on the internet. You know, I'll take that. I'll shoulder that for everybody else. Didn't you destroy this man in basketball when he was when I did the OTK thing? Yes, I did. The answer to your question is yes. I did do that. Please come to school tomorrow ad posting. Yeah.
Platform. Hasan and people like Hasan have been pushing violent rhetoric and supporting terrorists for years. He knows the dangers he has caused for others. He's now too afraid to face the very beast he's created. And along with
bro went to the LA riots, but TwitchCon is too much for him. Yeah, exactly. It goes to show that obviously for me, it's not a matter of my own safety. It's a matter of the safety of others. And also, what do you mean you created this beast? It's ironic because quite literally, part of the reason why I think like some dumb who's a Tone fan is going to take matters in their own hands because they're like, oh, I know Hasan is going to TwitchCon. I'm going to make a name for myself. And then accidentally end up a bunch of other people that are attending TwitchCon. That's the reason why I'm not going. How are people blaming you for your own stalking and threads? I mean, this is proof as to why, you know, it doesn't make sense for me to go to TwitchCon. This is like the whole point. This is literally the reason. Like, what kind of statement is this? And it's such a crazy situation because, like, you know, I have to make a public statement about it so that, you know, I discourage psychos from attending. And meanwhile, I'm making a public statement about it, making it clear that it's not about even my own personal safety, but the safety of others because of people like Tectone. Okay? Because of this kind of sentiment that you hear all over the internet. If you look at my replies, you see it, right? So many people are just like, oh, I can't wait for the government to deport you, arrest you. I'm going to come at you in the head, shit like that. But like, obviously, if the sea of threats, obviously if the sea of threats discouraged me, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, right? You can't, you know, I have a policy of not letting fear guide my life or guide my commentary. Having said that,
he knows that
even the additional, you know, statement here shows that it's not about my own personal safety necessarily, but the safety of others.
a number of people mocking the idea that Hasan was comfortable going to a protest, which inherently have a level of risk, and now
This guy LARPs as a revolutionary but wants to stay home during TwitchCon so he can stream and make more money. A tale as old as time, says Destiny. Oh, once again, I don't even LARP as a revolutionary. I'm a Twitch streamer. This is a statement that my haters have applied to me once again, they are setting the standards that they made up for me on their own, in their own minds, only to turn around and say, you're not abiding by those standards. But once again, yeah, TwitchCon is the revolutionary activity that I should be engaging in.
He doesn't want to go to TwitchCon. So then with that, you had others pushing back a counterpoint saying that things have dramatically changed in America since then, as well as the fact that Hasan says that he's doing this to protect his fans. But no matter where you stand on this, what you're seeing is Twitch trying to reassure people that the event will be perfectly safe, with CEO Dan Clancy saying on a live stream,
just in terms of safety and security at TwitchCon in light of recent events.
Yeah, I've been shot at ICE protests, man. What are we talking about? Also, Philip DeFranco literally posted the idiotic take from a dude who is not only in the crosshairs himself currently, but also someone who Philip DeFranco personally covered, issuing a threat against me literally a week prior to this. Like, Sex Pestany unironically said a straightforward threat, issued a straightforward threat directly, and Philip DeFranco covered it. That was like, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? I mean, yeah, it's just so stupid. So, in any case, as I've made clear, this is one of the more high-profile large events that I would be a part of. The Epstein take is the top threat on LSF, by the way, posted by the guy that was in here a week or two ago screeching at you, who regularly posts threats on you on LSF. These cultists are the worst. I mean, they got no motion. That's why they're doing it. They're chirping into the fucking wild. They are trying to do their very best to smear, to slander, to professionally misunderstand the point I was making. It is what it is. They got no motion overall. They just have like their own little echo chambers on the internet where they just screech into the fucking wind over and over again. There are obviously much larger issues at play here. And I think a lot of people, when they realize what the government is doing, what the administration is doing, what things look like in the fucking real world, will inevitably notice that these guys are just simply fighting the wrong battles. Okay? That's it. Like, even their audiences will eventually recognize, like, why are we fucking yelling at this dude? Even in this very moment. Like, why are we doing that? There's fucking active military on the streets of the United States of America in our neighborhoods. And I'm over here fucking yelling about some random Twitch streamer. It's stupid.
Now he doesn't want to go to TwitchCon. So then with that, you had others pushing back a counterpoint saying that things have dramatically changed in America since then, as well as the fact that Hasan says that he's doing this to protect his fans. But no matter where you stand on this, what you're seeing is Twitch trying to reassure people that the event will be perfectly safe, with CEO Dan Clancy saying on a live stream,
just in terms of safety and security at TwitchCon in light of recent events. So I want to be very clear. We take security at our events like TwitchCon extremely seriously. Every year, we build on a successful approach to TwitchCon safety and security, particularly as we become aware of new or emerging security or safety challenges. So we have teams focused on this year round.
with Clancy then going on to add how they limit who can attend and try to force attendees to behave appropriately with agreements in place when you buy a ticket. But that is, you had big community figures like Asmon Gold not buying that. Or with Asmon pointing to an incident that happened last year at TwitchCon, writing, last year, NMP, Lol, and Wake were sexually assaulted by a streamer, and Twitch didn't press charges or pursue any form of legal action against him. If I was a woman, I would never go to TwitchCon. But with all that said, as this whole situation continues to develop, I'd really love to know your thoughts and reactions here. Because one is, do you feel safe in public? Do you feel safe in public going to any sort of these events? And then also, if you were a public figure at all, like, would you be making appearances at events like TwitchCon or maybe some sort of political conference? Where's your head at right now? I'd love to hear from you. But then next up in the news, Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu have agreed on a plan for Gaza. And if
the streamer was also harassing other people before they assaulted Nick and Wake, yeah. On the other hand, we have Hasan saying he doesn't want to endanger people. On the other side, we have a random Twitter user, a sex pest, and a rapist. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I mean, that's the Philip DeFranco guarantee. Okay, he's gonna cover it like that, no matter what. It is what it is. It was classic. These captions were edited by someone in the team. They write your name as Hasan. No, guys, come on. You're focusing on the wrong shit.
Hamasta.
Okay, you've just been filled in. All right. Why do you think everyone just completely forgot that D is a pedo? I know LSF is deleting comments about that, but it's crazy. I think in this day and age, there's too many things to focus on, and people just don't give a shit, I guess. It is what it is. I don't know if they've forgotten. I think many people don't even know because it doesn't actually reach... like, if Sex Destiny had the same, like, dedicated cyber stalking team that he represents for someone like myself, I think anywhere and everywhere he went, people would be... anywhere and everywhere where he went, people would be relitigating that over and over again. But I do think that there's also a broader issue here with just people demonstrating horrible behavior in general, with very few repercussions for it, from Dr. Kids Inspect all the way down to Sex Destiny. I think a lot of people just don't give a shit. You know, I mean, look at fucking Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth himself is the fucking Secretary of War. There's an environment of protection around people who behave like this. It's just, it is what it is, you know? It's kind of like the Trump effect, if you want to call it that. Yeah. There's a couple things I wanted to